Before I begin this tale, I'd like to say that I don't believe in superstition. In fact, I'd go as far to say I'm Jewish. But what I'm about to tell you about what happened to me that night, it's something I'll never forget. I was at the flea market, not really looking to buy anything. More or less just taking in the essence of America. After a few hours of looking around, I ran into a strange old man who had a little table set up next to the creationism's real table. I walked up to him for some reason. I don't know what got over me. Normally I don't go up to random old men, but this one was different. Anyway, I came up to him and asked him what he had for sale. He asked me what something I was very passionate about. I told him video games. He then asked me what my favorite video game of all time was. I told him Sonic Adventure on the Sega Dreamcast. And I swear to God, what he did next almost sent a trail of liquid poop down my leg. He pulled out Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. What are the odds, I thought? He told me that for only $5 I could have this game. I had thought to myself, $5? What a deal! I gave him the money, and he gave me the game. I asked him if there were any problems with it, and he said it works great. I opened the case and checked the disc. There was a little scratch near the edge of it, but nothing too bad that would not cause the game to work. I thanked him, and I left. When I arrived home, something felt different. The smell of mom's spaghetti was gone. But it was July, so I figured the AC broke in the apartment again. I dusted off my Sega Dreamcast and hooked it up. I booted up the game, and boom shakalaka, I was playing Sonic Adventure. And that oh-so-familiar rockin' tune by Crush 40 came on. A strong wind of nostalgia blew over me. I was living in 1999 all over again. I started my game, and the first cutscene began. Sonic was so attractive jumping around those buildings, and in no time, I was fighting Chaos Zero. But something about him seemed different. Don't get me wrong, this boss fight was never hard, but I was actually having trouble with him this time. His movements seemed way faster than I remembered, and my attacks did half damage. Despite all this, I managed to beat Chaos Zero. But something really strange happened after I beat him. My Sega Dreamcast gave off a weird sound, almost a screaming sound. Now, I know Dreamcasts are known to make noises like this from time to time, but never like this. I really thought nothing of it, though. But then the cutscene that happens afterwards was different too. Eggman was nowhere in sight. Normally the camera is supposed to pan up where he says his line of dialogue, but there was none of that. Instead, it just showed the place where he would have been. Maybe that scratch on the disc removed Eggman or something, I don't know. I was thinking of random things to explain this phenomenon. So, it moved on to Sonic sleeping by the pool. This is the part where Tails crashes into the beach, and you have to go save him. I made my way towards the first level, but before that I remembered that you could talk to the NPCs in the world. So I talked to one. The first girl said, "I'm sorry for your loss." I went to the second girl. She said I pooped twice today. After that, I made my way to the first level, Emerald Coast. Now normally you're supposed to hear Emerald Coast music, but instead it was the music from the final egg fight with Eggman at the end of Sonic's story. I knew something was wrong with this game, but instead of turning it off like I should have, I was curious and played on. I played through the first level. I managed to make it to the end of the level with no problem. But when I arrived at the end of the level, Tails was nowhere in sight. Where's my furry friend, I thought? He was gone. The level concluded, and normally there should be a cutscene afterwards, and you unlock Tails to play as. But instead there was no cutscene. It just skipped to me standing by the pool, with a text box saying, "Tails is gone." I was horny and I didn't know what to do. So I quit out the game. Went to go see if I could play as Tails. The game wasn't kidding. Tails was gone, and in his place was a lot of hyper-realistic blood. It almost made me vomit how realistic it looked. How can the Dreamcast produce such graphics? I thought. Now, at this point, I really should have stopped playing. Being the butt smeller I am, I selected Sonic and continued playing. The boss fight with Eggman for the first time was gone too. Instead, it just prompted me to go to Windy Valley, the second stage in Sonic's story. So I went through level, had no problem, it was Windy Valley. After that though, things got weird. Instead of ending on the part with Mystic Ruins, I was out in the middle of the forest, the thick part of the Mystic Ruins. How did I get here, I thought, and hyper-realistic blood went down my TV screen. I wiped it off using a silk cloth and some Windex, and I continued. I walked around the forest a while. realizing that all of the explorers who usually walk around the forest were nowhere in sight. I somehow ended up outside the final egg. The final egg shouldn't be a part of that game yet, but I was curious to see what would happen if I entered the final egg. Inside, you're normally supposed to see Metal Sonic and the other Metal Hedgehog, but instead their tubes were filled with hyper-realistic blood. I didn't know what else to do, but I started the final egg level. And boy, I wish I didn't. There was no music when I started the level. I checked my options menu to see if the music was off, but when I paused the game, hyper-realistic blood filled the screen, so I avoided pausing the game. I played through the level, dying a few times here and there until I made it to the end. Time to fight Eggman, I thought, but there was no Eggman. Instead, I was teleported to the Master Emerald Shrine in the past. You know, where Tikal takes you? There was no Master Emeralds, only floating realistic heads dripping hyper-realistic blood on the shrine. The shrine was covered with hyper-realistic blood. It was disgusting. I walked closer up to the shrine. When I did, I realized the floating heads were the heads of all the characters in the game. Oh my god, I said out loud. I noticed at this point that my character was moving towards the Master Emerald on his own. I thought my controller was busted, so I hit it a few times. Still nothing. Sonic was walking more and more towards it. No! I screamed at the top of my lungs. Don't do it, Sonic! The neighbor next door told me to shut the fuck up, but Sonic made it to the end of the emerald. He was stabbed in the chest. He was stabbed in the chest with 4 level 9 daggers, and hyper-realistic blood flew everywhere. I was sick to my stomach. And to this day, I still poop only twice. So this was a really good creepypasta, mainly because there's really good character development, the story was amazing, the scares were really scary, and you could just vision it. The level of detail in this creepypasta is ridiculous, and I should know, I wrote the thing. It's probably definitely up there with the best creepypastas of all time. I recommend you guys click on the link below in the description. Give it a read yourself. It's really scary to read all by yourself in a room with a lighter and cigarettes, and oh my god, it was really scary. 10 out of 10. So what did you guys think of the creepypasta? Did you like it or did you love it? Thank you for watching. I'm Poop J with DamnedGamers, and hallelujah.